And welcome inside the Villainz Lair on a Thursday. So happy to have everyone here with us as Comic-Con starts this week. Your host for today, Ryan Yunt, Alvin Rueda. Alvin, welcome back, brother. Good to have you. How are you?
Thanks, dog. Thanks, dog. Funny thing happened yesterday when I was eating dinner for my daughter's birthday. I saw a guy come up to me and says, "Nice jersey," and I was wearing an X-Men jersey, and he has a Cyclops shirt. And then later on, the waiter went up to me and said, "You know who that was? That was one of the biggest producers of X-Men '97." I was like, "Say
Wow.
what?" And I'm just like,
Wow.
I still don't know who it was because he doesn't remember who his name was. But if that's
Oh,
the case, that's pretty crazy.
yeah, that could have been a cool, like, little moment to, you know, talk to him about the show, network a little bit, maybe ask for a guest appearance. That would have been fun.
Right? I know. I'm glad he was really repping though, because any companies I ever worked for in the past, I never rep their shirts.
Okay. Well, maybe you get a chance, maybe you get another chance, and it'll be some serendipitous, meeting up moment. So we'll look forward to that in the future. Want to remind everyone a couple things here before we get started. Lots of cool DC trailer talk today. And we just want to remind you, if you can like these videos, if you can smash that like button, it helps the channel so much. We also want to remind you that you can download the audio versions of this podcast at Spotify, at Apple, at Amazon, all the places you need to be. And I mentioned the start of San Diego Comic-Con. Well, we are doing a live stream, a big live stream on Saturday. So if you are a subscriber to this channel, on YouTube, you'll get the alert. So if you're not, consider subscribing so you know exactly when we go on air, because we are going to be talking about everything Hall H, Marvel presentation, all the news, all the cool photos, whatever's coming out of that presentation and being shared online. We got you covered, and we are going to be talking about it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. You get that alert button like Ryan's saying. And if you're not at San Diego Comic Con, even if you are, you should listen to our take because our take is pretty awesome.
That's right. That's right. And now DC may not be having a panel. DC Studios for their film may not be having a panel this week, but that hasn't stopped them from teasing some big drops, some footage coming out. So today, they shared a quick teaser of Lanterns because tomorrow the trailer drops. So you get to see Hal Jordan here. Some action moments, a nice shot of the ring lighting up with the lantern, and Hal conjuring up a cool like green tornado here to protect the town from this bomb. What looks like a bomb blast. So no shortage of teases this week, and things kick off in a big way with DC.
Man, that's what I'm talking about, dog. Get that power ring going. Show a lot of that. You finally getting the willpower of green, and then yeah, I want that on a Lantern series. And it's kind of crazy to me. Wait, he's saying the official trailer drops tomorrow.
An
Haven't
official
we had
trailer.
an official trailer yet? Damn, I can't keep up with these trailers from different shows anymore. I don't know what's official, what versions in there. They're they're talking to us now like we work for those companies, and there's V1s and V2s. Official trailers, not so official trailers, teaser one, teaser two. They're all over the place.
Yeah, marketing is in full effect for them. Now they've dropped like a 1 minute teaser at this point, but I think we
Right.
get the full like 2.5 minute kind of flesh out the plot more and some of the characters and tease the dynamic between them. I mean, I think the only thing we've kind of seen is that Hal is training John Stewart, and he tries to kill him. Driving him off a cliff and seeing if the ring will react, and that's kind of what we have at this point. We don't really know about who the villain is or much of the main plot of what's going on, other than kind of what's being reported and a little insider speak online.
Right. With three timelines going on. official or unofficial or not, there are 3 timelines going on for sure. We know Sinestro is gonna be in there, so basically we might get, if it's 3 timelines. We're talking about present here. We're talking about Guy Gardner in Superman, and we're also talking about John Stewart as a rookie and then maybe being a pro later. And there's even like leaks online I'm not going to mention now because I don't know if it's true or not, of
Hmm.
a certain character dying. And if that's the case, that's very extremely ridiculous if it's true, 3 timelines or not. But like we talked about too, uh, a friend of a friend of a friend saying that Lanterns is going to be a really cool show because they've been working on the spot. So I don't know who to believe anymore with all these insiders and knowing the people working on it. But all I know is I am, in fact, looking forward to this series.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think I've talked a few times about some of the like editorial choices with this show,
Yeah.
and why it's not a big movie and instead of a series, why they're taking an intergalactic space cop and making it a more grounded, small town, true detective story. Um, that's not really what I'm looking for in a Green Lantern story. I want galaxies, and I want planet off planet, and space shit, and that's not what we're getting. We are technically, because he has the ring, and if Sinestro shows up, then yep. But it's just I could have found a better team to tell a true detective story. If you wanted to tell a true detective story, give me Nightwing and Red Hood.
Oh, stop it. You're exciting me now. You're arousing me very much so. Uh, I'm all in for that. But yeah, man. I mean, like, look, there's insiders saying also that they're writing season 2 now, even though no one had seen season 1. So we'll see about.
Somebody's happy.
Yeah, yeah, someone's trigger happy. So maybe you'll get it in that. Maybe they're listening to us and saying, "Wow, that dude Ryan, he's on some shit right now, and he's freaking right." And we should write this intergalactic. More. You could still keep True Detective, but make it more intergalactic, and that would definitely work. But all I know is if what they have right now too, Sinestro, obviously he has to be the top choice to be like the big villain in this one. Because if he's not, I can't think of anyone else who would start off the series as your big bad.
Yeah, that's a great point. It just feels weird that he would come to this small town and there'd be investigating some murder. Like, I don't know. They obviously, I think this story is going to be told out of order, much like for the first season of True Detective, and much like I think maybe it's the third season where it is multiple timelines and we're checking back in. The third season with Mahershala Ali was very much like that. And if they're using that as inspiration, those are two great seasons of television. So I'd be all in on that. And plus, you know, they're both HBO shows, so there's a lot of synergy there between the two. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how this plot plays out. One of the reports this morning I saw was that the first episode is like feature film length. So they're
No.
like literally giving you, I think it's supposed to be like an hour and 20 minutes or so
Wow.
of the first episode to really kick things off. And then I think everything from there is probably in your typical HBO, 48 to 50-minute range.
Right. So basically, it's gonna be like Memento. Start from the ending. Not
Exactly.
not knowing not knowing it started from the ending, or it could be like Pulp Fiction. I never really watched True Detective, so I'm gonna go with like Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is a great example of just bouncing all around from the middle is the beginning and the end is all that stuff. So yeah. So we'll find out tomorrow. We will cover it as a massive DC trailer drops tomorrow. And so we'll look forward to that. So that's not the only big DC trailer. So before even today, so yesterday, the talk of the industry was this Clayface trailer. So yeah, Clayface really showing us for the first time. We get the full trailer, the full 2+ minute trailer, really leaning into the body horror angle and playing up that darker side of DC. This isn't an Elseworld story. It's or at this point, it's not an Elseworld story. It is in the DCU, and it's over in Gotham, and it just is a dark take. It's a dark story. So let's check out the Clayface trailer here in 3, 2, 1.
Show me. Show me. What do you want, Mr. Hagen?
I want my life back.
I know you. You're famous.
It's a tragedy what they did to him. Boo! I'd like to volunteer for human trials.
This isn't cosmetic surgery.
Even if it kills me, I'll be better off than I am now.
That's gotta hurt.
Matt!
Ah, you looking like Prune Face?
I'm okay.
You okay?
I'm okay. I feel great, actually.
I have no idea
Up there's
what side effects you'll
Vesuvius.
have or how to treat them.
Sir, the seatbelt sign is on.
We're in unknown territory.
Oh no, don't do it.
He has nose hairs. He's trimming his nose hairs.
What's happening to me?
If you're harboring feelings of anger, you need to let them go.
You want to know how I feel? The people I trusted betrayed me. The justice system failed me. They stole my career, my money, my life. I'm a monster.
I have no idea who you are.
Oh,
Yo, okay. Okay, GCPD. Always in every freaking Batman trailer. Or Batman like anything to do with Batman's World trailer.
it's the one way to like tie in Batman without having Batman in there and like just shove it in the audience's face that, hey, this is in Batman. Batman could be on the periphery somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I forever rep GCPD. And where's Commissioner Gordon? Is he in it?
That's a good question. We saw Club Vesuvius, so I think the last time we talked about this movie, we were wondering, could any other characters show up in this movie? Well, Club Vesuvius is there, and if that's where the character Zatanna performs her magic. And so maybe we get a cameo, maybe she's in the background of a scene performing, or maybe we just full on get to meet that character in this movie.
Yeah, maybe. But I definitely want to. I don't know. We've talked about this before, and we've never asked for a Clayface standalone movie. I'm still not really that excited about it. It's a good trailer for
Mhm.
sure, but Clayface is not. He's not the main villain. He's never been the main villain of aside from maybe like an episode of animation series or
Right.
comic books or whatever. But you wouldn't even put him on your top 10 villain in Batman Rogues Gallery, which is crazy
Right.
that they decided to choose this one. uh, for a standalone big budgeted film.
He's definitely not S tier, and he's certainly not, or he's definitely not S tier. I don't think I'd put him in A tier. You know, he's just kind of like a big bad, but someone that, you know, I don't know. I really have never thought that his character carries a story, and but you know, seeing this transformation, I think that you can tell a story that he carries. For me, this is obviously you get a lot of Substance vibes, right? With the movie The Substance, where a lot of body horror, you know, faces and body changing and things like that. But for me, the biggest influence, or the one movie that stands out in my mind when I see this, is American Werewolf in London, and I'll tell you why. Is in that movie, David, who is becoming the werewolf, is not only the protagonist when he's a man, but when he's the werewolf, he's the antagonist. So he's both the movie's protagonist and antagonist in the same story. And I think that's what we're going to be getting here, as you know, when he's in human form, you know, he's trying to figure out what is going on, but then he's transforming into this monster, and he's going to do these horrible things. The other thing that makes me think of American Werewolf in London is I've sort of get the vibe here that there is a little bit of a um relationship, a love story between him and this doctor or nurse, similar to David and the nurse in American Werewolf in London, who and just that scene alone, we saw at the end of that trailer where she's standing in that alleyway and you see kind of Clayface, you know, emerging. That reminds me so much of that final scene in American Werewolf in London where she comes up to him, he's fully transformed into the werewolf, and he eventually gets shot down immediately and killed right in front of her. And I'm just getting so many vibes. I'm a huge, that's my probably my favorite horror movie of all time. So you know, I'm just picking up on all these things. And if you're gonna look to a movie for inspiration, especially in the horror genre, that's a great one to lean into.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely tell you're a big fan, which is cool. And I'm gonna also ante up. I'm gonna up the ante a little bit, and I'm gonna go with a mix of Vanilla Sky.
Yeah.
Because it's always that pretty boy that something happens to his face where it changes his world around, and now it's a whole new different dynamic and what his lifestyle used to be, from pretty boy to now like whatever creature he's turning into. And Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky, it was kind of like that. Is, I mean, he didn't turn into a creature, but he was a pretty boy, and then all of a sudden
Right.
his face is all disfigured, and he has a whole different lifestyle to portray now. But why is it always pretty boys turning into this horrific monster? Why can't it be an average looking guy next time? And then he turns into a disfigured monster moment. So
It just makes, you know, I get it. It just makes for, like, you know, a more drastic transformation if you're
yeah,
taking someone who's, you know,
I get it. I get it. But he's
you,
also supposedly insiders and scoopers are saying that he's part of, this is the Clayface in Creature Commandos,
mhm,
the animation, and that's James Gunn's universe of animation and characters, which we've seen characters in Peacemaker
right.
in the same storyline as Creature Commandos. So if that is the case, this is a whole different theme and dynamic for that universe. You know, like people are thinking, could this Clayface be Matt Reeves? No, apparently he's in the James Gunn universe, which is a whole different setting. And watching this trailer is just a horror, serious, and it's way different than the vibe that we get in Creature Commandos. So I don't know uh, what to think about that. All I know is just tell us if he is, and then I'll think of it, in a different sense and a different tone that this movie might be in.
I could see, you know, a post credit scene where Rick Flag shows up, and is trying to recruit him into Creature Commando and something like that, and they're trying to build their their sort of a Avenger team up with the Creature Commandos. I could totally see some sort of way to connect and make people maybe even entice them, if you didn't watch Creature Commando, to go back and watch that series and give them a reason to, if they enjoyed Clayface.
Yeah, I mean, Rick Flag already put Peacemaker in that different the prison on a different timeline kind of thing. What if Rick Flag puts Clayface in that one and meets Peacemaker? It'd be
Could happen.
Be such a different dynamic between the two. I would just love for Peacemaker to start crapping on his look, saying what the hell he is and all this stuff. So that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. So, this is a 2026 release, so we will get that movie this year. We will get some of these answers here in the fall. We want to stay on the horror side here, because DC isn't the only movie isn't the only big IP dropping a horror movie. We have another Resident Evil movie coming out, and they've been trying. I mean, we know that the Mila Jovovich series was it was popular. They were able to make 5, maybe 6 movies in that entire series, and then they did a Welcome to Raccoon City movie, which was actually kind of decent. Its heart was in the right place. The problem is they tried to force games 1 and 2 into one movie, and it was just too much, and you couldn't tell that story in an hour and a half, obviously. So it was a little, jumbled up. But the latest attempt to really get this thing right on the big screen, and they've enlisted like one of the biggest names in horror right now, Zach Krager, to direct this movie. And while Resident Evil fans are up in arms that it may not have some of the lore of and characters of the original or of the game series, no Leon in this reportedly, no Claire, no Chris Redfield, Ada Wong, Jill Valentine. I'm not sure any of these characters are showing up. So this is just something happening outside of Raccoon City or eventually in Raccoon City that is in the universe, just something that the game didn't focus on. So we have a brand new trailer that dropped this morning, and we will show you that here in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, man, I gotta be 7. Do you know where I can take this? Excuse me, oh my God. Anybody order a kidney or liver, whatever this is? Anybody? It seems like it's kind of important.
Hey, you got time for another run?
No, I'm wrapped up for the night.
It's outside the zone, so it pays double.
Weapons.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Him.
Sweetheart, I'm sorry. The signal sucks here. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna stay with Katie for a bit, I think.
Michelle, please do not go stay with freaking Katie.
I'm so hurt my feelings that you don't even care enough to come home and have this conversation.
Seriously, I'm working. This could be some 8-year-old boy's heart or someone's mom's brain.
Nice windshield wiper wipe. I'm a big fan of windshield wiper wipes.
That's a great effect. They've done some cool effects with stuff like that to show Zach Krager's credits.
Hello? There's an emergency here. I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Hi, you've reached Michelle. Leave a message.
Hey, baby, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier. Some things have happened, and I can't get a hold of police. Bullets. Could you just call me back on this number, please? I love you.
The typewriter, he's going to save his progress.
Everything that has happened in this town is
is why you limit
matter of hours.
your match and Postmates.
You've got no idea what you've got there in your hands.
Yeah, where was it going again?
Raccoon City General.
Okay.
No sweat.
So basically, it's just in that city. The outbreak is just in Raccoon City.
Yeah,
And
so
no one knows about it.
I think he, is on the outskirts and he needs to make a delivery into Raccoon City, and they offered him double the rate for that, and he's like, "Yep, I'll do it."
God, you
This
better get a good tip.
this really shows some good tension building. I mean, if you saw Barbarian, I'm not the biggest fan of Barbarian. It feels like 3 different movies for me, and the first movie I enjoy, the second movie not so much, and the third one I'm back in. But the way they broke up that plot and that story, but I love Weapons. I think Weapons is brilliant. Like, some of the tense scenes in that are so good. So what Zach Krager, I think, is building here is probably gonna still piss some people off, because they're always gonna want to see Leon and those guys in this kind of movie. If you're making a Resident Evil movie, people will say the games tell such beautiful story and great stories. Why aren't you using these as your foundation? And I think my response to that is, well, Leon and those characters, weren't in Biohazard, and they weren't in Village. And those are maybe 2 of the best games in the entire series. So you can tell a great Resident Evil story without the main characters. And I think that's what we're hoping for here with Zach Krager's new film.
I mean, it's all about execution at this point, right? And you're not going to make everyone happy with one standalone movie if you're talking about a video game franchise here. But I mean, look, I wasn't always the biggest Resident Evil gamer, but I did enjoy the games. And this brings in a whole different aesthetic of the game to me, especially with the delivery stuff and discovering Raccoon City, and out of nowhere that it's just a whole city. It seems like there's a whole portal in that one specific Raccoon City, and then everyone else in the world doesn't know about it. So I don't know what's going to be involved in that, but I did enjoy Weapons. I love Weapons. It was also character driven, and that's what made the whole movie for me, and mixed in with the whole mystery of what was happening with the kids and what's doing that. So there was like 2 different things going on in that movie. But like I'm saying, the most thing that I really loved about Weapons was it was character driven. And if you do the previous things that was in Resident Evil before, it just seemed like it was just one person throughout the whole thing. This one, you'll actually see 2 people now, or maybe a couple extras in the hospital. Right. But the first teaser was definitely way different than this one. I was always thinking that, wow, is this like a Castaway type of movie where he's just going to be alone throughout the whole thing? It still seems like it, but as long as they don't overdo it with a first person point of view.
Yeah.
Which they tend to do that in some films sometimes, but I don't think Zach is going to pull that one in this. I trust him. He did really good with Weapons. So I think if he brings in his style, we'll see a whole different world of Raccoon City.
Yeah, I think the wintertime and on all the snow is a really cool aesthetic that I don't think we've ever seen in any of the games. I'm trying to think of a moment where it was kind of wintertime and you're going through the snow. So that's just kind of a different look already, and that kind of takes you into a different part of things. I think
that's because zombies don't do well in cold.
Exactly. No, that's exactly why. They're cold-blooded, so they're like reptiles. They just kind of they're real docile in the cold.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get a lot of the vibe of Resident Evil. You saw the typewriter, kind of joked, oh, he's saving his progress. But there's those little things that Resident Evil fans of the game will enjoy, that they will respect and appreciate, calling back to the game series. And one of the biggest things there, you find a gun, you grab it, and you got a new weapon, and then you got to go through and find all the drawers you can to find ammo, and you kind of get that same aesthetic here with that. And I think we'll get a lot of that. Resident Evil is about a virus and creating monsters and zombies and things like that, and you're still going to get that with this. And it doesn't really matter who your protagonist is. You could still tell a story that is in that universe, that is about an outbreak, and it could still be really cool. And I have all the faith in the world that Zach Krager is going to make something that is going to be really cool. If it's not, a redo of some game that you loved, that's okay. I think once you can put that aside and realize that it's okay to tell stories, just because those games are focusing on those one points and that exact location of time, doesn't mean that things aren't happening around the city. And that is what this movie is. Something else that's happening around the city. Leon could still be at the police station right now fighting a tyrant, but a couple miles down the road, this was happening.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get two types of fans watching this movie, right? One who is a really huge Resident Evil fan, and the other just to watch for a zombie type of film. I might be on the other at this point, but I just want to, people might hate on me for this, but if I get like a really cool like zombie type film, I'm all with it.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking forward to this. This is a 2026 release, so I think we're about a month away from the release of this movie. So
I didn't realize it was it was releasing that soon, and they haven't shown us much from the trailers and teasers. So this is I think will be a better take on this sense of just going in there like when I saw Weapons, I didn't watch one single trailer.
Oh, so you were really
yeah. That's why I love that movie too.
Awesome. All right, so Spider-Man. If you're seeing a Thursday preview, then you are currently a week away from being able to watch that in theaters. So we want to kind of update you. The press tour for the cast has been going on for weeks now, and all these new interviews just keep popping up. And it's rare when you hear something new that you haven't heard before. But Tom Holland, as he's typically known to, dropped a big one, and now it just comes down to whether or not we believe him, because he was asked about Jean Grey and he said she's not in this movie. It would be cool if she was, though, but he was emphatic that she's not in this movie. Now, Andrew Garfield, when No Way Home was coming out, said he was not in this movie, and he emphatically stated that. Did Tom Holland pick up on Andrew Garfield's, tactics here and is calling back to that? Or are we wrong? Are the insiders wrong and she's not? Are the McDonald's toys wrong and she's not in the movie?
Imagine she's not Jean Grey, or they could just be swerving at, and Jean Grey's on this movie, but Phoenix is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we call her Marvel Girl,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that I think they're just swerving us, trolling us at this point, and they know that we're just clamoring for Jean Grey to be in it, or a member of the X-Men, and we all know her, and the look, and they're just toying with us at this point because they love to do that kind of stuff. And Tom Holland, you know what you're doing, buddy. You do know what you're doing. So he's trained for this at this point. So what we're probably gonna get is still Jean Grey. I don't care what Tom Holland says.
Yeah, I mean, it's just constant trolling at this point. The Sadie Sink interviews sound like trolling. Tom Holland, trolling. Yeah, they're all just doing whatever they can to maybe get a few more people to be on the fence about it, or to agree with them and go into the movie not thinking about it. But at this point, I think that, for people that follow this as closely as we do, we know who she is. but that's not going to ruin it for me. I'm still super excited to see it and looking forward to the big reveal.
I'm still watching it on the Thursday screening, and also I'm not watching any more trailers popping up or TV spots. I'm done with those things. I'm just ready for the movie to start now.
Exactly. Well, that's going to wrap things up for today's show. But before we go, Alvin, any final thoughts?
Actually, have you seen Xbox talking about launching a test that would allow players to stream games without a Game Pass subscription? But get this, it has ads on it. Playing a game with ads. So each hour of gameplay would include at least 2 minutes of ads, which is unprecedented in consoles.
Yeah, so what do we think
mobile
that
games
is?
have had that, but those are like whatever games that no one gives a crap about that has ads, like one of those finger tapping games where you have to get a guy to go in a maze somewhere for bombs to not explode, something stupid like that. But like,
so is that just a small pop-up in the middle of your round, or is that like after a cutscene and you get a commercial break before you go back to the action?
Yeah, it's actual YouTube ads kind of thing. Before you go back to the action. They're just testing it. Don't know how it's going to come into fruition, but all these video game companies are definitely trying out different things to maximize profit. I get it from a business perspective, but from a gamer's perspective,
I guess I could see an ad if you're like in a lobby and you're waiting to, like, for example, you're playing Marvel Rivals and, you're waiting for the round to start. I could see where you're in a lobby waiting, or Call of Duty, something like that. And it cuts to, a 45-second ad. I could see that. The worst, what if they're, you're dying and you're waiting to respawn and you have to sit through a 30-second ad? Oh my God. People would lose their minds. It would smash their Xboxes.
They did say an hour, but still, like, 2 minutes of ad. Like, what if I'm just trying to save and then all of a sudden there's an ad, or I got to really pee and, whatever you need to do. But that's weird. That's just weird. I don't like it. Let's just get back on. I like physical media to begin with, and ads within a video game is weird to me. So I'm giving that a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. I agree. Well, thank you so much for everyone who watched the show today, who's listening on any of the apps that you've downloaded this for. We appreciate you guys so much. Please consider liking this. Please consider sharing this show with your friends. That will help the channel even more, and it'll give us more opportunities to do bigger and better things. So for Alvin, I'm Ryan. Thank you so much for stepping inside the Villainz Lair, and we will see you on the next one.